Today we're in the woods very close to WIDEY School, which is to my left. It's very peaceful today and quiet, and you can hear the birds singing. But it wasn't always like that. On June the 25th, 1644, one of the more significant skirmishes of the English Civil War took place in this wooded area, somewhere to my right. Six days prior to the engagement here, the new governor arrived in Plymouth, Colonel James Kerr, and reviewed his troops around Mount Gould and Lipson. After that, he had a talk with the council and decided to continue the policy of his predecessor, Colonel Robert Martin, by using an attack as the best form of defence. And he decided to send a troop out to Plympton, a troop of horsemen, going via Shoal Bridge to avoid royalist patrols. He sent this unit out on the night of June 24th to raid the royalist base at Plympton. The raid was successful, and on the morning of the 25th, his cavalry came back, returned with a colonel as a prisoner and a herd of horses. But on their way back, close to this area, they were passing the royalist outwork of Hobson's Work, which was very close to WIDEY House on my left. And then everything changed. The Cavaliers' forces at Plympton recovered quickly and pursued the parliamentarians who were fleeing or returning somewhere in these woods. When they came up to a hedge, they found their own men, their musketeers, sent from the town as a sort of to protect their rear, lined up behind a hedge and fired at the Cavaliers. Unfortunately, the Roundhead horse rode through their own musketeers. They began to panic, and the musketeers were forced to flee, but only for a minute. They recovered themselves and reformed and fired at the royalists and pushed them back. This gave time for their own cavalry to recover and join the melee. Now the action became more personal. The fighting took place here, now came down to individual combat. Colonel John Digby, the brother of Lord George Digby, the King's Secretary of State, was commanding the royalist forces in and around Plymouth. He was actually involved in the action here. He took on a man called Cornet Bushell, a parliamentarian. Bushell cut him across the face severely, below the eye, with his rapier, putting Digby out of action. Another royalist, Colonel John Arundel, son of the governor of Pendennis Castle, took on William Braddon, a parliamentary captain, and they fought each other until Braddon seriously wounded Arundel. Arundel was taken back as a casualty by the parliamentarians, treated kindly. He got as far as Magdalen Fort, where he was laid down, and he passed away. He died. Other casualties were a Captain Gosnell and a Major Thomas Halsey for Parliament, slightly wounded. These men are well known in Plymouth during the Civil War. They partook of a lot of actions in and around Plymouth. As I said, the biggest casualty for the day was Colonel John Digby, who would be out of action for many months.